What's up, everybody? We are at Bitcoin block height 826,054, 826,054. TikTok next block. The markets are back open today. Bitcoin trades 24/7, but the ETFs and stuff are open. Looks like Bitcoin at this moment is up a few $100, but that's just short term. I don't really think about that. Today is Tuesday, January 16th. 2024. Historic day happened yesterday, and I want to talk about it. And forgive me for the length of this video, but I got a few minutes on my hand, and I got a lot to say, so I might as well just say it in this video. So we had the Iowa caucuses yesterday, or Iowa caucus, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy, but I'm upset at the same time. I'm very happy that Donald Trump, for those of you that don't know, Donald Trump absolutely had a historic night. He just killed it, man. He just killed it, and that makes me happy that this country is waking up to that. You know what I mean? And he got over 50-something% of the vote, despite all the things that are the media attacking him, and even his own, people that was in his party that helped him, or he helped Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, absolute traitors to this country, or traitors to the movement. I don't want to say traitors to the country, traitors to this movement, man, and putting themselves before the country. And I can't stand people like that, man. And the exact opposite is Vivek Ramaswamy, who to me, he's an absolute star, man, an absolute great person. I'm gonna get into the Iowa caucus in a minute, but I got to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, man. This is the part that I'm a little sad about, not because he didn't win. Obviously, I knew he wasn't gonna win, but Vivek is my guy, and he's the guy that I donate to the most. Now, full disclosure, that's what I'm telling you. I'm coming from a perspective of I like Vivek Ramaswamy, and I'll get to that in a second on why I do. And I also donate to Donald Trump. Before Vivek, I was voting with my money and giving and donating to Donald Trump mostly. But when Vivek came around, I started giving more to Vivek than I did Donald Trump. Not because I like him better or nothing like that. I would just go by numbers in the polls and, how much money Donald Trump had coming in versus Vivek. And, I tried to play the ratio game, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, whatever. Every $20 I'll give him, I'll give Donald Trump $1, or whatever the ratio was at the time, just to make it fair. Because again, it's not about any candidate. It's about America, man. And those two, and including Robert Kennedy Jr., although I do not agree with his policies, are the only America First candidates. It's just true. But I wanna stop right here and acknowledge Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign to be president. This man, now, as far as the national scene goes, this man came out of nowhere, right? Absolutely came out of nowhere. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm not saying that to say that makes him a good person, because it doesn't. What I'm saying is he didn't have to run for president, okay? This does not personally benefit him at all in comparison to Ron DeSantis and Nikki the neocon Haley. He's completely opposite of those people. He had his own money. He lived the American dream. You know what I mean? His parents came here as legal immigrants a couple of years before he was born, 40 years before he was born, and they did what they had to do. And he grew up in modest situations, and he came out. And him and his wife, Apora, she's a surgeon, and he's an investor. He owns several companies. I think most of you guys know his story. But the reason I'm talking about Vivek Ramaswamy real quick is because, for those of you that don't know, you probably all know that he decided to withdraw his name from being a president. In other words, he canceled his campaign. I think he's been campaigning for about 13 months to become a president, which was an absolute long shot. Basically, he had no chance to be the president when he started. Nobody knew who he was. He was the guy with the funny name. You know, a couple of times he kind of quoted Obama in certain speeches, and because nobody knew who he was and he did that, and people have been so lied to and duped and don't take the time to, and I understand this now, don't take the time to actually sit down and pay attention and really, you know, study him. And I understand why. You know what I mean? If you love this country, you're just going to vote for Trump. Why would you need to pay attention to this guy? You know, with me, I'm not a fanboy of anybody, right? I'm not saying anybody is on this channel or anything, but a lot of people are just absolute fanboys of Donald Trump. And I love Donald Trump too. I think he is the greatest president of the 21st century, like Vivek Ramaswamy eloquently said. But the reason why I like Donald Trump is not because he was Donald Trump, it's because of what he did for the country in 2016 through 2020 and the way they attacked him and everything else. But at the end of the day, the only people that I'm a fanboy of is obviously God and the founding fathers of this country. And the only person to me that was going and sticking to what the founding fathers laid down for us in this eloquent, crazy experiment we call the United States of America was Donald Trump. In a long time, I haven't seen anybody since Ronald Reagan do that, and you know, John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated. So that's why I like Donald Trump. So when I first seen Vivek Ramaswamy, I didn't like him either, but I didn't have enough opinion about him to know what to like or what not to like. I was just like, who the hell's this guy, right? I heard him like sticking up for Donald Trump and saying things, and I would hear some things. So after about a month or two, I just kept seeing his face everywhere. So I go, you know what? Let me see what's up with this dude. And I'm coming from a very skeptical mindset now, because I already had my mindset. I was going to vote for Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not a fanboy of Donald Trump. I just like Donald Trump's message of make America great again, by the way. That's what MAGA means. MAGA. But somehow the mainstream media calls that racist. And people that fall for that, man, I feel sorry for them, man, to be honest. You're talking about America being great, and that's racism. That's racist. Yeah. Because he said, you know, whatever. Anyways, so I started, guys, forgive me if I'm all over the place. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and I'm very, very tired. So forgive me. So Vivek Ramaswamy, when I started getting into studying him from a keen, skeptical eye, you know, at first I found out what his background was, and then, you know, where he came from, and, you know, because he's a funny looking dude, right? I mean, look how he looks. You know, he's not a typical, you know, because I'm a black man. He's not a black man. He's not a white guy, you know. And I'm like, there's no way this guy's going to win. Just, you know, and I hate to say this, but just the way he looks, he's not going to win, right? And that's just the way it is. I mean, there's some people in Iowa that said that. They go, look, man, I like you and everything. And they literally said this, but, you know, I can't vote for you, you know. And I understand, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just, people, you know, vote for people that they're used to seeing, and they don't trust the guy that looks like him. That's just the way it is. But when you get past that stuff and you look at his background and you realize that the day he put in his nomination to be president, from the time he was 18 or 17 to 38 or something like that, or 37, he came in. He put in 20 years of tax returns. He handed them all in. Okay, that's commendable. Nothing to hide. Then the stuff with George Soros came out, where when I think he was 25 years old, he had took a scholarship from George Soros's brother. And now, you know, this was 13 years ago or whatever, 24, 25, whatever it was. And he goes, look, I had a little money in the bank, but I got a scholarship and I took it. Now, nobody knew, you know, what the Soroses was, and he didn't take it because he was, oh, you're gonna take this money and then you're gonna work for me in the future. Wasn't like that. And he explained it all. Every single FUD, fear and undoubt, or skepticism they talked about with him, he debunked them all. several times, and he had the receipts to prove it. But with the George Soros things, people just took off. Oh man, I told you he's a plant from George Soros and this, that, and third. You know, and he goes, look, man, he goes, they put his name on the World Economic Forum's little list or whatever. And he said, look, you got to take that off, man. I'm not any part of any of you guys. And he sued him for doing it. And then he won the money. And he gave the money away. He didn't even keep the money. So again, I don't know him personally. And this is just a little bit of what I'm saying. This is a lot of things that I learned about this man. And again, I read the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And this man knows it like from A to Z to Z to A. You know what I mean? He knows all that stuff. The guy's he's absolutely brilliant, and I think he's borderline a genius. But another thing he had going against him, besides his look and his funny name, he's also a Hindu. So, again, in Iowa, you know, people put God first, man. You know what I mean? And if your religion is not like theirs, they're not going to mess with you. Even though they liked him and he worked his butt off, and he did more campaigning and visited more cities or more counties and more events than all the other candidates combined, plus some, right? But he just couldn't do it, right? So the reason why I liked him so much and I started donating to him, because to be honest, I wasn't going to vote for him over Donald Trump, but I'm not going to lie, man, I started liking him a little better than Donald Trump, just because he's younger and I felt like he could do a little bit more without the extra baggage. But either way, I was fine with either one of them. I just personally like Vivek Ramaswamy. I just like him, and that's, you know, everybody has their little flavor or whatever. But when I seen how hard he worked, and then he came up short in the caucus, you know, of course, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh man, is this rigged or whatever? But then I had to be realistic with myself, because I was very down about it yesterday. You know, because I've been following this guy's campaign, like I said, for a while now, almost 8, 9, 10 months or something like that. Maybe, yeah, something like that. And, you know, I donated my money to him. And again, to see somebody like Nikki Haley get so many votes, and thank God Ron DeSantis came in second. Let me pause Vivek Ramaswamy real quick. Let me talk about Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is like, how can I say this without sounding disrespectful? Okay, I'll say this. He's good and bad, okay? He's good because he's the greatest governor in my lifetime I've ever seen. In my lifetime, he did a great job. Although a lot of people in Florida that live down there that are against him debunk that. They're saying a lot of things that he says that are not true or whatever. But hey, I think he's doing a great job. And when the media attacks you, which they were in 2020, 21, 22, they're not as much anymore. You know you're doing something right. And they definitely attacked Vivek. But where Ron DeSantis went wrong is he should not have ran for president in 2024. He just should not have done that. You know what I mean? And real quick before I forget, the reason why Vivek ran, same reason probably Ron ran. Ron ran because somebody told him to. Vivek ran because he's like, oh my God, they're going to take out Trump, and we need an America First politician or America First candidate in here, because Ron DeSantis is like a hybrid. You know, he's America First mixed in with the establishment. He's like a half and half, man. You know, 1 minute he sounds like this, the next minute he sounds like that. You know, he sounds like, you know, he doesn't go full-blown Democrat talking points like stupid-ass Nikki the neocon Haley does, or Nikki Clinton does, or Hillary Haley does. But he definitely, he flip-flops on the Ukraine war and everything else. But what I didn't like what he did, man, is, you know, if you're going to run for president, you need to talk to Donald Trump about that, number one, because he's the one that got you the job. And number two, he should have ran his campaign like Vivek Ramaswamy did. Vivek Ramaswamy did nothing but praise Donald Trump the entire time. All the interviews he did, Vivek did, they tried to catch him on Donald Trump because they couldn't catch him on anything else because he's squeaky clean. So like, all right, we're going to get a soundbite from him saying something bad about Trump. And he just wouldn't do it. He said Donald Trump's the best president and this, that, and the third. If Ron DeSantis would have ran his campaign like Vivek Ramaswamy, which starts with the people that are around him, because he was told to become president. To me, he's not a great leader because he just doesn't have it. You know, he's a good on the state level, but national level he's not, and he's not a good picker of people. And if the people around him weren't picked by him, then it shows you that he doesn't run his own campaign. And the people that are around him, he had to work. I never seen somebody that was such a star and had everything handed to him, because he was ahead of Donald Trump, 2022 in the polls, because Trump didn't announce yet. But once Trump announced and he started attacking Donald Trump, that's the thing you cannot do to Donald Trump. You can't do that to Teflon Don. You cannot attack Donald Trump, because what else are you going to say that anybody else hasn't said already, Ron? That was just very, very dumb, man. And for us as America First patriots, not Republicans, okay? America First, God-loving constitutionalists, the people that love our country, you shouldn't be trying to split up the party, man. And what Vivek did the complete opposite. He was running, but he said, listen, Donald Trump's the greatest and blah, blah, blah in the 21st century, but they're not going to let this man in office. And he's telling the truth. And that's another reason why I'm sad. So Ron DeSantis, long story short, Iowa was going to be his bread and butter. That's why late at night last year, he passed I think it was a 6-week thing on the abortions and stuff, and he thought Iowa would like that, and they did. The problem is he just doesn't have it, because he's not going to win in New Hampshire, and he's damn sure is not going to win in South Carolina. So him losing Iowa to Donald Trump, even though he came in second, he doesn't have a chance in New Hampshire to beat Nikki Haley. So I don't know. It's like he's good and bad, man. It's good that he became second, that Nikki Haley didn't, because Nikki Haley announced that this is a two-man race or a two-person race yesterday. She said, even though she came in third, she basically said it's just down to me and Trump. Again, this is what Vivek Ramaswamy warned us about a few days ago. He said what they're trying to do is they're trying to make this down to two people, Nikki Haley and Donald Trump, and then they're going to get Donald Trump out of here and put Nikki Haley or the other puppet on the Democratic Party in office. That's what he said, and that's exactly how it's going. So when Vivek, so that's enough about Ron DeSantis. So he's pretty much done. I think he's done as governor too, because a lot of people just can't support him because he turned his back on the Make America Great, movement. You know what I mean? You just stabbed the man in the back. Meanwhile, Vivek is patting him on the back, praising him, even though Donald Trump attacked him. And I think that's another reason why Vivek at the last minute, which was a smart move on Donald Trump's part, because he's such a big giant. I didn't like the move when he made that tweet or truth post about Vivek, but last night during his speech, Donald Trump's speech, he kind of reeled it back, and before that he kind of reeled it back too, and he said Vivek did a great job. And when Vivek did his speech, he said he called Donald Trump, and they said they're going to do a rally today. So why, at the time you're watching this video, they may have done it already or just about to do it. And I don't know what's going to be the future for Vivek Ramaswamy with the party, but he said, listen, he's putting his full support behind Donald Trump. And even though personally now, I'm talking from a personal standpoint, I didn't like it at first. With much mulling over it and thinking about it, it was the right move to do. And I think Vivek Ramaswamy, his whole campaign, he did the right moves. When they tried to ban Donald Trump from the Colorado ballot, what did Vivek Ramaswamy do? Who was the only one that did it? He said, if he's not on the ballot, then I'm not on the ballot, and I demand Krispy Kreme Christie, Nikki the Neocon Haley, and Ron the Sanctimonious to get off the ballot too, but they didn't. Because they're all backstabbers, man. They are all backstabbers to Donald Trump. And again, I'm not saying Donald Trump is the end-all, be-all, but when you see what happened to Donald Trump in 2020 and you see what's going on now, we should all be getting behind Donald Trump. That's why I like Vivek. If Vivek did everything he did but said, I don't like Donald Trump, I wouldn't have messed with him. I just wouldn't have, because you know what happened to Donald Trump in 2020. You know what happened to him during his presidency when they attacked him. And you know what they're doing to him now with these election interference stuff. But Vivek called it out from day one. He called all that stuff out. And that's why I messed with him. So, with much mulling over this, I had to say, you know what? It was a good move by Vivek. Real good move. So, what's going to happen now? I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do. I think, is Vivek going to be the vice president? Probably not. I would like him to be, partly, because I want him to take the baton and become the president. But at the end of the day, Vivek Ramaswamy just did not have enough time to have name and facial recognition, although he went on. I mean, I've never seen a man work as hard as this guy. You couldn't name a show that he wasn't on. I mean, all the podcasts that I watch, he was on them multiple times, and podcasts that I never watched. To 100,000 viewers to 200 million viewers. He didn't care how small or big your YouTube channel was. He was doing it. He was working his butt off. And then what he did in Iowa, my God, he outworked everybody. And I don't think anybody. And again, I've been studying politics for a while, and I really studied from 2020 to now. And I've watched every single debate, every single campaigning and stuff like that. I have never seen a candidate like this guy. I mean, articulate, the way he communicates, the way he listens, the way he can walk up to anybody and be personable and stuff like that. This guy is cut from a different cloth, man. He's a star, absolute star. And, he went on all shows, MSNBC, CNN. He called out all the nonsense. He didn't use any money of corporate donors or anything like that. He took money from people like me, and he used his own money, similar to Donald Trump, on a smaller scale. But he was going against some juggernauts, man. Ron DeSantis had 150 million behind him. He failed, and now all the people that are going against Donald Trump and stuff like that, now they're even Democratic donors are donating to Nikki the neocon Haley. This is why we cannot, guys. We cannot let this woman in the office, man. We can't. We can't. And so I'm happy on one end that Donald Trump absolutely dominated. I think he's going to do that throughout the states. I think he's going to flip some blue states too. What do you guys think? I really do, man. But as far as Vivek Ramaswamy goes, man, my hat goes off to you, sir. My hat goes off to you. Again, I've never seen a candidate like this guy. I never have. But the future looks bright for him. He said, this is not the end. This is the beginning. I don't know what Donald Trump is going to do with him. But if I was Donald Trump, this is what I would do. On a side note, for vice president, first of all, I think he has his whole cabinet picked. First of all, you got to put Vivek Ramaswamy somewhere in that cabinet. If you got somebody in line, you might have to get them out of there and put Vivek. Vivek can pretty much do almost any job. Okay, this guy is. I mean, just study him, man. He just knows what he's talking about. Again, I'm not no fanboy, man. You know what I mean? I respect the hustle. I'm the type of guy that I know how to recognize talent early in life or early on. Like I used to tell people, I don't like LeBron James anymore, side note. But when LeBron James was in 10th grade, I told everybody, I go, this dude will be competing for Michael Jordan to be one of the greatest players of all time. This dude, you're stupid. He's doing this against high school. This is 10th grade now. This was 2001. I saw him in the summer from 10th grade and going into the 11th grade, and then I studied him past that. And I'm like, this guy's going to be it. Oh, no. And I've done that a lot of times. I'm not saying like I'm the man and I know everything. I'm just saying I can recognize, and that's Vivek Ramaswamy. You're looking at a man who politics, he didn't need politics, but politics needed him. He came around at the right time. He's got 2 kids, man, a 3 and a 6-year-old. You know what I mean? And for him to give up his very, very luxurious life, just like Donald Trump, by the way. This is why I respect Donald Trump. On a smaller scale, Vivek Ramaswamy had his life. He did not. This is not going to help him in his personal life and back in the private sector. You think he can just go back to the private sector and just be CEO of these companies without people messing with him? He is going to be a target, and he knew he was going to be a target. That's and when you make a self-sacrifice like that, when you're spending your own money and your own time and energy versus getting into politics of people paying you to do it, I respect them completely different than the other one. I have no respect for Ron DeSantis. I have a little respect for Ron DeSantis, but not the way he's become now. But I have absolutely zero respect for Nikki Haley. None at all. We cannot let that woman in office. So what would I do if I was Donald Trump? I would take a hard look at Vivek trying to be vice president. Now, who should he pick as vice president? To me, it's down to Vivek Ramaswamy in my heart. And I'll get to that in a second. But he should probably pick Tulsi Gabbard. And I've said this in other videos. And the reason why is, even though Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat, she's a old school John F. Kennedy Democrat, and she's America first. Do I agree with her policies? No. But in today's climate, and I'm talking on the national level now, in today's climate, you have to pick a woman, because abortions and my body, my choice garbage is a big thing, right? And he needs a woman. He can't have a Marjorie Taylor Greene or nothing like that. Probably not even Carrie Lake. I like Carrie Lake, but Carrie Lake is a female version of Donald Trump. Plus, she's running for the Senate. Now, I would like to see her either be a senator or press secretary. Carrie Lake would kill it. But vice president, she's not going to really bring anything to the table, I don't think, more than Tulsi Gabbard could, because Tulsi Gabbard, again, she can bring a lot of Democratic voters, a lot of libertarians, a lot of moderates. She is a moderate, guys, compared to the far right Donald Trump. Far right, guys, this is what far right means. You love your country and you're a patriot. That's it. So when you hear that and they try to spin it, oh, it's racism. No, okay? So I think you should pick Tulsi Gabbard, because she's a veteran. She's from Hawaii. She's a good-looking woman. That counts, guys. I'm sorry. It just does. You know what I mean? That's why you can't take Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I like her, but let's be real, okay? No disrespect. But so, you know, and for the abortion thing and stuff like that, because these women really think it's their body, their choice, even though I don't agree with abortions and stuff like that, and most of you probably don't. But at the end of the day, that's something that a woman's going to have to talk about, a moderate woman that's going to be, you can't be hard line on that, because Republicans lost a lot of votes, especially in the midterms, because they were hard lined, and rightfully so, but they were hard lined on the abortion situation. You can't be like that with all these people and all these, let's just say 304s, if you know what I mean. Look on your phone and look at 304. Girls who just don't take any personal responsibility and do this and do that with anybody, and then expect to just go in there and do that to a baby. That's a big deal for them. So I think that should be his number one choice. But if you really want somebody to pick up the baton and really get out there for you, and get out there short term and work his ass off, is Vivek Ramaswamy. If you put, I mean, Vivek is already campaigning for Donald Trump. So if you put him to work as the vice president, and get out there, I mean, he is going to work his ass off for Donald Trump and him in the ticket, because Vivek is an investor. He'll invest his time now to become the president in 2028 and 2032, and the vice president now. And I think that would be great. You know what I mean? Does he bring any new voters to the table? Right now, probably not, because if Vivek drops out, you know, when Vivek dropped out, most of the people, even if he's not the vice president, are going to vote for Donald Trump. They're not going to vote for Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley, because Vivek made sure he did not diss Donald Trump. He was all about Donald Trump, and he said it in his speech that please follow me in following Donald Trump and putting our support behind Donald Trump. Let me tell you something, man. That took a lot for a guy to spend that much time in Iowa and realize that, hey, I lost. You know what I mean? But again, a setback is nothing but a setup for a comeback. And his attitude, his can-do attitude, really inspired me, because I was more down than he was. He might have been down in the hotel or his apartment or something, but he came out there like a leader, man. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about it today. That's my thoughts. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Vivek should be VP? Should he have a cabinet spot, maybe Treasury Secretary, or, you know, something about with money or anything else? Let me know. Do you think Tulsi Gabbard should be vice president? What do you guys think about neocon Nikki, Ron DeSantis, and Donald Trump overall? But again, to end this video, congratulations to the America First patriots out there that voted for Donald Trump. Hopefully, this is why I was sad earlier I didn't say this, is because Vivek dropped out, and if they try to take Donald Trump off the ticket, now we don't have an America First guy to fill in, and hopefully, God willing, they don't. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.